हाँ कैमरा बंद नहीं ये दूसरे गाने पर वो वैसे करना से गिर ना जाए कृष्णा कृष्णा दिया जाएगा हरे कृष्णा
Read from the seventh canto, the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the entitled of this. Prahlad Maharaj, the saintly son of Hiranyakashipu. This fifth chapter from the seventh canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj explains about the 9 processes of devotional service, and one of the 9 processes of devotional service is Kirtana. So we will read from that one, text 23 and 24. This purport must be one of the longest purports of the Srila Prabhupada, the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. One time when Hiranyakashipu was asking his son, what have you learned in the school today? So what he learned from the school is not from Sanda in America. Actually, it's from Narayana. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Kale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Sundari Om Jnana Tirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurun Tasmai Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkapalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasta Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhuram Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Dev Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitashta Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tathai Kanchana Gaurangi
Radhe Vrindavadeshwari Vrishabhanusudeti Pranamami Vanchakalpadurubhyashta Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai Sri
Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Canto 7, Chapter 5, Text 23 and 24. Iprarada Uvacha,
Shri Prahlada Vacha
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu,
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu
Smaranam Padasevanam,
Shravanam Padasevanam
Archanam Vandanam Dashyam,
Archanam Bandhanam Dasyam
Sakyam Atma Nivedanam,
Satyam Bhagavatam
Ipum Sarpita Vishnu,
Vishnu
Bhakti Chinna Balakshana,
Bhakti Vachana
Griyeta Bhagavati Ada, Tanmati Uttama. Translation. Lord Maharaj said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of the Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming his servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto him. In other words, serving him with the body, mind, and voice. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. I'm just going to read the 4 parts of the Kirtana. There are 9 processes of devotional service, and Shravanam, or hearing the holy name of the Lord, is the beginning of devotional service, Prabhupada says here. It is the most essential, actually, to hear. And Prabhupada says that, yes, according to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Paramarjana, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one is cleansed of the material conception of life, which is due to the dirty modes of material nature. So our heart is full of dirt, full of anarthas, and the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the means by which we can cleanse our heart from this unwanted, unnecessary things, anarthas. That means what is not really necessary, like lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy. These different elements, and they are all hovering in our hearts since time immemorial. Prabhupada says our heart is block us cold. So we need to cleanse this so that we'll be able to understand and see Krishna face to face. Then when this dirt has been uprooted, then we can see Krishna within the core of our heart. Krishna is there also as Paramatma, along with the Jiva and this body. But pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, he can see the whole Vrindavan. He can see Lord Krishna also within his heart. Not just in the Paramatma feature, but he will also see in the Bhagavan feature. This is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam as well. So, hearing the holy name of the Lord, one comes to the platform of understanding the personal form of the Lord. First is Nama, Guna, Rupa, then Lila. This is the absolute nature of the Supreme Lord. Gradually, when one chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can do the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in two ways. Japa and also in Kirtana. Japa means individual, like we have this mala, Japa mala, made of tulsi wood, a tulsi plant, or some they use neem, or in the early days of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada, they don't have any tulsi Japa mala at that time. So they just went to an art craft store, and whatever beads they found, they made beads from that 108. So japa means silent chanting of the holy name of the Lord. It's like almost inaudible. It's audible, but not very loud. Japa means quiet chanting between the devotee and Lord Krishna. This is a special time. It's been done especially Brahma hour, an hour and a half before sunrise. That's the best time to chant the japa, the holy name of the japa mala. What time is the sunrise in London? 6?
4:30.
Summer, so it's little.
Which one?
Summer is 4:00 or 4:15. Winter is 8:00 sometimes.
So 8 o'clock, winter time. That means you have more time to sleep. Yeah. But usually it's not like that. Usually we get up in the mandir, we get up for the sannyasis and the brahmacharis. Yes, as I don't know, wherever we go, it's different timings, but usually Grihastas should be up by 5 o'clock and do their sadhana, because it's the best time to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra early in the morning. That's when you're peaceful, you're not so much disturbed by the modes of material nature, and one can easily hear the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So that japa is like that. It's like more of individual chanting. Japa mala. When we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We can chant in front of our deities early in the morning, or in front of the picture of the deities, or in front of Tulsi Devi, especially in the association of devotees. Ideal. So when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is a cleansing of our heart, because our heart is very dirty due to sinful desires. What are those sinful desires? Sinful desires means desires to enjoy myself, enjoy with my family, or enjoy with my friends and so-called loved ones. So, to those who receive diksha, nam-diksha, from bona fide spiritual master, they agreed upon at the time of initiation to chant minimum of 16 rounds every day, which takes about 2 hours. But it's minimum 16 rounds. In India, some of them they can chant for 8 hours, no problem. 8 hours means 64 rounds. 64 rounds means 1 lakh. 1 lakh holy name. Haridas Thakur, he would chant for 192 rounds. 192 rounds is like almost 24 hours. That's what he's doing. That's why he's Namacharya. So when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, especially in the beginning, the mind goes all over the universe. Cannot be controlled. It's always the complaint. The mind is giving us problem when we chant the holy name. And that is true for everyone, but for an expert devotee who is chanting and is very attentive, no offenses, then the mind is peaceful. The mind doesn't give him any trouble. It's only for those whose senses are uncontrolled. The mind is turbulent, it's chanchala. Then it's very difficult to chant the holy name of the Lord. But the more we chant, from quantity comes quality. So the more we chant, the quality of our chanting also becomes refined. So yes, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is very essential. Hearing is essential, but chanting says you can perform any of the 9 processes of devotional service. Either 9 or 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, at least one. And that is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If you don't chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna doesn't accept 100% what we are wanting to offer to him. Like the main ingredient of everything that we do is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So japa, we have to do it individually. This is no shortcut to this. No one can chant the rounds for you. Yeah, we cannot. We have to do it ourselves. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did it, and he was chanting his fingers. Krishna Balaram also did it while they were in the Gurukul. So, yes, there's another type of chanting called kirtan, Sankirtan. And Sankirtan means congregation chanting. That means everyone involved. And Sankirtan means glorifying the name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Lord congregationally, and it's more powerful than the japa individually. Like when you're in a big kirtan, you forgot practically everything. You forgot even yourself. You become submerged in the ecstasy and the bliss. The effect of Sankirtan can also help other living entities when they hear the holy name of the Lord and get benefited as well. The insects, some animals. It's like when we go for a japa walk, and we will see also some people having their dogs going for, not for a japa walk, but for picking up their stool. And whenever we will see them, we'll say, Gauranga to the dogs, or Krishna, because probably they will not be able to hear again the holy name in their lifetime. So the name of the Lord must be heard and chanted. Says here, one may chant the holy name of Lord Krishna, or one may chant the holy name of Lord Rama, or Nrsimhadev, according to one's attraction towards the Supreme Lord. Then the devotee will call upon his name. But for our benefit, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that we should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, again, everything is there. Krishna and the entire spiritual world. It says here, the Lord has innumerable forms and names, and devotees may meditate upon a particular form and chant the holy name according to his attraction. The best course is to hear of the holy name form and so on from a pure devotee of the same standard as oneself. That's right. The holy name of the Lord has to be received from a bona fide spiritual master. Then again, the full effect will be there. If the holy name of the Lord is chanted but not received from any one of the four bona fide sampradayas, then it will not have that full effect. That's why it has to be heard. Even says, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord should not be heard from non-devotee. Because when we hear from non-devotee, it's like milk touched by a serpent. The milk becomes poisonous. So we are warned also not to hear outside of ISKCON. Outside of the link of Srila Prabhupada, because if we hear something which is different, we may become confused of what we are hearing from Prabhupada's books. Then we'll start to doubt. Then it'll become a big problem in the future. Just hear from Srila Prabhupada's books as much as possible only. Or if you're going to hear from outside, you better hear it from the right source. The right person. Because Prabhupada says also we should hear from the Goswamis. It is best to hear about Lord Krishna's name, form, and pastimes from a realized devotee who is particularly attracted by the form of Lord Krishna. That's why Prabhupada has warned us, Krishna Balaram Mandir, don't go out. Don't hear from outside of the four walls to the Krishna Balaram Mandir. Because right now there is so many so-called professional reciters or speakers of the Bhagavatam. How can we tell? Says here, in Srimad Bhagavatam, great devotees like Shukadev Goswami have specifically described Lord Krishna's holy name, form, and qualities. Unless one hears about the holy name, form, and qualities of the Lord, one cannot clearly understand the other processes of devotional service. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that one chant the holy name of Krishna. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtana. If one is fortunate enough to hear from the mouth of realized devotees, he is very easily successful in the path of devotional service. Therefore, hearing of the holy name, form, and qualities of the Lord is essential. Okay. Now the Kirtanam part. The hearing of the holy name has been described above. Now let us try to understand the chanting of the holy name, which is the second item. In the consecutive order, it is recommended that such chanting be performed very loudly. This is the Sankirtan. Loud chanting. In those days, they don't have microphones, right? They don't have sound system. They can chant loud. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Narad Muni says that without shame, he began traveling all over the world chanting the holy name of the Lord. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised, Trinarapi Sunichina, Tarorapi Saisnana, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Adilila, chapter 17, text 31. A devotee can very peacefully chant the holy name of the Lord by behaving more humbly than a grass, being tolerant like a tree, and offering respect to everyone, without expecting honor from anyone else. Such qualifications makes it easier to chant the holy name of the Lord. So this is the formula. This is the formula on how one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly, incessantly, by being humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant like a tree, and offering, ready to offer respect to everyone, but not expecting any honor or respect from anyone else. Seems to be very difficult because no one wants to bow down. No one wants to become inferior. In the material world, being humble is like giving up everything, giving up one's pride. Almost impossible for a materialist to be humble. They're always proud. There's even a pauper is proud of his own penny. No one wants to give up that position, that prestige. So the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, as Prabhupada says, if one chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in a pure state, then Krishna and the entire spiritual world will be dancing in your tongue. He says, I was just reading the other day, even the most sinful person, like a sinful person, like is like the one who killed his own father and mother and spiritual master and teacher, Brahmana and a cow. Just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra alone will nullify all the sinful reactions that even a person may commit sin. He will not be able to commit sin that the holy name will not be able to make it pure. Even more sin that one may commit in the future. Just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, be able to purify. Of course, in chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we also have to be careful because there are offenses that needs to be avoided. Just like during the first initiation in 1966 in New York, devotees asked Prabhupada, is there any rules and regulations we have to follow? Prabhupada says, oh, I thought you will never ask. And then he said all of this, 10 offenses, the blaspheme, the devotees, and dedicated replies. All of those 10 offenses we must carefully guard not to commit them. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that the origin of offenses ultimately is inattentiveness. Inattentive. So when we chant, we should only chant, especially during japa. When we hear, it's the same thing. When we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, because Kirtanam also is hearing, chanting the Bhagavatam. So when we hear the Bhagavatam, we should be also focused, not doing many, very, very absorbed when we hear the holy name, especially the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's the such qualification make it easier to chant the holy name of the Lord. The process of transcendental chanting can be easily performed by anyone, even if one is physically unfit, classified lower than others, devoid of material qualifications, or not at all elevated in terms of pious activities. The chanting of the holy name is beneficial. An aristocratic birth and advanced education, beautiful bodily features, wealth, and similar results of pious activities are all unnecessary for advancement in spiritual life. For one can very easily advance simply by chanting the holy name. So we don't need any special qualifications to chant the holy name. Just simply chant the holy name. One can become completely qualified. It is understood from the authoritative source of literature that especially in this age of Kali, Kali Yuga, people are generally short-living, extremely bad in their habits, and inclined to accept methods of devotional service that are not bona fide. Again, here, Kali Yuga means short-lived. Says that if one reaches the age of 25 to 35 years old, when Kali Yuga progresses, it is considered to be quite old. There'll be no sugar, there'll be no butter, there'll be no grains. It's very bad situation. Water will be more expensive than petrol. Yeah, in some places where we go. I mean, we got purified water and there are also pure water.
Okay.
The pure water is expensive. So Kali Yuga people will live underground. There's no more civilization practically. Everyone is under the modes of passion and ignorance. So the condition of material world will become more and more severely painful, more sufferings and so on. Very unfortunate. But for those who have a little bit of intelligence, they will join the Sankirtan process of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whereby they'll be able to overcome all the difficulties, all the sufferings, all the pains. Still, it will be felt, but not as much when one comes to the platform of chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and everything will become so easy. There's here, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama eva kevalam, kalona stevana stevana steva anyata. In this day, in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way. There's no other way. Yes. There's no really success. Only when one comes to Krishna consciousness, then one can become alleviated from the miseries and sufferings of this world. And chanting of the Hare Krishna Maharaja makes one advances perfectly in spiritual life simply by chanting. What I was hearing this morning, simply by chanting and also offering your foodstuffs to Krishna, you go back home, back to Godhead. Prasadam and chanting. That's what it means. But there are more. Also reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and associating with the devotees and doing some practical service. Simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one advances perfectly in spiritual life. This is the best process for success in life. In other ages, the chanting of the holy name is equally powerful, but especially in this age, Kali Yuga, it is most powerful. Kirtanat eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Paramvade. 12th Canto, Chapter 3, Text 51. Simply by chanting the name, the holy name of Krishna, one is liberated and returns home back to Godhead. Therefore, even if one is able to perform other processes of devotional service, one must adopt the chanting of the holy name as the principal method of advancing in spiritual life. Again, what makes everything perfect is the chanting of the Hare Krishna. We may do anything, many things for Lord Krishna, but if we don't chant the Hare Krishna mantra, it is not counted 100%. They say one may be good in dressing the deities or cooking for the deities, or doing management for the temple, or even a good preacher. But if he doesn't chant Hare Krishna mantra, then it's not saying it doesn't count. It counts a little bit, but not fully. It's like when you cook sabji, the main ingredient is namak. Salt. Without salt, no taste. So when we do anything that we do for the pleasure of Lord Krishna and his devotees, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra must be there also. Because without that chanting, that main ingredient, is like when we offer foodstuffs to Krishna, it is not the recipe of what you cooked. It is your love and devotion that what makes Krishna eats your offering. So it's the same thing in spiritual life. No chanting, no spiritual life. That's what it means. Or no Prabhupada says, no morning program, no spiritual life. Morning program, that means the sadhana. Yagyai Sankirtana Prayaya Yajantihi Sumedasaha. 11 Canto, Chapter 5, Text 32. Those who are very sharp in their intelligence should adopt this process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. One should not, however, manufacture different types of chanting. One should adhere seriously to the chanting of the holy name as recommended in the scriptures. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Some institutions in Vrindavan, they invent their own mantra. Hare Krishna. No, I cannot because we don't chant it.
Yeah.
Japa Krishna. Nita Go Radesham, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram.
Yeah.
Something like that. Nita Go Radesham, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. So, this is the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
This is what we were taught by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. While chanting the holy name of the Lord, one should be careful to avoid 10 offenses. From Sanat Kumar, it is understood that even if a person is a severe offender in many ways, he is freed from offensive life if he takes shelter from the Lord's holy name. Yes, all the offenses. If we commit offenses while chanting, keep chanting. If you commit offenses while serving the deities, chant. You can nullify the offenses by chanting. or reading one chapter from the Bhagavad Gita. If you do deity worship, and more likely you did some offenses, then you can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra or one chapter from the Bhagavad Gita. One can also commit offenses while going to the holy Dham. So go Dham Aparad, Nama Aparad, Seva Aparad. Nama Aparad. There is only one offenses that even one chants the holy name of the Lord is not able to recover or nullify that offenses. That is Vaishnava Aparad. That's why we have to be very careful not to commit Vaishnava Aparad. That even the holy name of the Lord cannot nullify or be forgiven. Do you have any questions so far? I'm going to read the 10 offenses just to remind you again. The offenses are described as follows. A, to blaspheme a devotee, especially a devotee engaged in broadcasting the glories of the holy name. B, to consider the name of Lord Shiva or any other demigod to be equal, be as powerful as the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. C, to disobey the instructions of the spiritual master. D, to blaspheme the Vedic literatures. And literature is compiled in pursuance of the Vedic literatures. E, to comment that the glories of the Holy Name of the Lord are exaggerated. F, to interpret the Holy Name in a deviant way. G, to commit sinful activities on the state of chanting the Holy Name. H, to compare the chanting of the Holy Name to pious activities. I, to instruct the glories of the Holy Name to a person who has no understanding of the chanting of the Holy Name. J, not to awaken in transcendental attachment for the chanting of the Holy Name even after hearing all these scriptural intentions. There is no way to atone to any of these offenses. It is therefore recommended that an offender at the feet of the Holy Name continue to chant the Holy Name 24 hours a day. Constant chanting of the Holy Name will make one free of offenses, and then he will gradually be elevated to the transcendental platform on which he can chant the pure Holy Name and thus become a lover of the Supreme Personality. Is there any question or comment? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you. Wonderful class. When we are immature and we start in spiritual life and we don't understand the 10 offenses and we inadvertently blaspheme by Vaishnava, is this on reversing? So if I'm starting my journey with Krishna consciousness and I don't know how to deal with Vaishnavas, then we all they go up and down. And so inadvertently, mentally or verbally, I offend a Vaishnava. Is this now non-reversible?
There are two things. When you commit an offense, it could be knowingly or unknowingly. If you're doing it knowingly, then the consequence is greater than if you did an offense without knowing it. Then the consequence is less. So, but nevertheless, it is our duty to know what to do and what not to do in bhakti. There's a saying in English, ignorance is bliss, but not in bhakti. Ignorance is suffering in bhakti. So we have to learn, we have to know, we have to be educated. Krishna consciousness is an educational institution as well. We learn a lot. We learn about morals, values. We learn more than that. We learn supreme absolute truth. So, yes, in the beginning we may not know, but that should not be all the time that we should remain of not knowing. We have to know sometime. Yeah, we have to grow up. Any other points or comments on this? Yes.
Mentioned that for one of the 10, one of the 10 offenses is to instruct the faithless person.
One of the 10 offenses to instruct a faithless person. Yeah.
When we are introducing someone new to japa, what exactly can we do to inspire them to chant if not say the word?
Yeah. Well, just like, yeah. That is why in the beginning we don't tell them about the rules and regulations. We kind of like tell them you just chant because they'll get purified by chanting. So keep chanting, and then later on they themselves will find out the rules and regulations. So yeah, but we have to be careful, especially those who are faithless. Faithless means they're unreasonable, first of all. They already made up their mind. You cannot talk to them reasonably. And sometimes they will even blaspheme the Bhagavad Gita or blaspheme Krishna. We have to be careful. That's why in the beginning you don't tell too much. You tell little and test whether the person is reciprocating. Yeah? Or is he pretending only? And later on he'll blaspheme heavily. So you have to be careful. To not reveal immediately, like what we mentioned today, the glories. But for the faithless, you cannot tell this immediately. You can tell, but more likely is not able to. Let them be purified. Take more and more prasad and read some slokas from Bhagavad Gita and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Especially engage them in Sankirtan. Give them a little bit of taste. Then you can tell whether the person is actually receptive or not. Yeah? Yes?
As you said that without morning program has the spiritual life.
Yeah. Without morning program, no spiritual life. Prabhupada said,
So, like sometimes it happens. So we do morning programs for some days, and then sometimes how to maintain consistency. Like they say that if we be in association, we can maintain the consistency. But if we are in association, sometimes it feels like, okay, there's a Mangalati every day. I'll do it tomorrow. That's how thing.
no. You have to be convinced. You have to be determined to go back to Godhead. You have to be convinced that yes, you must do this. If you do it halfway, then it is also halfway. Half baked is not really cooked, right? There's some taste in it, but it's not really good taste because it's not cooked. Once it's cooked, it's very sumptuous, very relishable. So, yeah, you have to do it. You have to push yourself. No one else can do it for you. No one can do the Mangalactic for you. You have to do it. I think 5 o'clock is okay. It's normal for Grihastas to start your day that way. If you start later than that, Hare Krishna. It'll be difficult for you the whole day to deal with Maya. Main thing is the whole day you'll be facing Maya. So how to face Maya and not be defeated by her? You have to get a good sadhana. Early in the morning, good sadhana. Chant your rounds. Then Maya will just following you. Not that you are following Maya. With folded hands, she's ready to serve you. Not that you, with you folding your hands, ready to serve her. Yeah. It is recommended that even if one commits offenses, one should continue chanting the holy name. In other words, the chanting of the holy name makes one offenseless. In the book Nama Kamodi, it is recommended that if one is an offender of the Lord's feet of a Vaishnava, he should submit to the Vaishnava and be excused. Similarly, if one is an offender in chanting the holy name, he should submit to the holy name and thus be free from his offenses. In this connection, there is the following statement spoken by Daksha to Lord Shiva. I did not know the glories of your personality, and therefore I committed an offense at your Lord's feet. In the open assembly, you are so kind, however, that you did not accept my offense. Instead, when I was falling down because of accusing you, you saved me by your merciful glance. You are most great. Kindly excuse me and be satisfied with your own exalted qualities. Any other points, comments? Hmm? Yes. Oh, yeah, yeah. You have another point?
Yes, Maharaja. So you are mentioning about like in Vrindavan different names or chanting, as you mentioned some of this. It's like why so many are these things are coming because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is prominent. He has already given a mantra. So why these things are populating now to confuse the number of people? And even I have seen sometimes devotees also put the words of statement from different other sampradaya. They justify as well. I mean to saying like what's they're not saying anything apart from bhakti and what's wrong to hearing them. So and they are also elevated souls. So how we can
Yeah.
understand that, Maharaj?
Well, you don't even have enough time to read Prabhupada's books.
Yeah.
First read Prabhupada's books, study Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada gave us everything. You don't have to search anywhere. It is confusing, actually. It is confusing. Then you may consider that that person is greater than anybody else, including your own guru. Because I've seen in Vrindavan, some of them, they get reinitiated.
Hmm.
That is hellish to be reinitiated. What is the loyalty to Prabhupada? He's the one who brought us here to where we are. And thinking that, oh, I think he is better, he is offering better than what Prabhupada is offering. There's nothing else that we need. Prabhupada has given us it. So we have Srimad Bhagavatam also. The Amala Purana, the spotless Purana. There are 18 Puranas, 6 in the mode of goodness, 6 in the mode of passion, and 6 in the mode of ignorance. So Amala Purana is after compiling all the Vedas. Vyasadeva was very unhappy. Then Narad Muni has told him that you have missed the narration of the Bhagavan Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna. So we have this Bhadra Purnima festival. I think we have a quota here in UK for how many books to distribute. And anyone who gives the Srimad Bhagavatam on that special day will get benefited of having blessed to go back home, back to Godhead that day. I was told, I've heard that it's like a shortcut to go back home, back to Godhead.
Arriva.
So you can offer them as a gift to yourself or to your family members, to your friends, to your co-workers, so on. That is available. How much is the set?
175.
175 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
You can sponsor 10.
Oh,
Yes. Very easily.
they can pay later also, Maharaj. They don't have to pay now. We have only
Oh.
2 sets today, only.
Oh, you have two cents today. Go back to bed head now and pay later. You have to come back, okay? We have two sets available today. Anyone who wishes to get this special mercy. Any other points, comments? Haribol.
You were mentioning Vaishnava Uprat and 10 offenses to the Holy. Which one is the greater uprat?
To disobey the order of the spiritual master, to consider him as an ordinary man. That is also a grievous offense. Many times Prabhupada says, yes, to commit sinful activities in the strength of chanting, that is also. But especially this one that to disobey the order of the spiritual master. Because the orders of Guru is not different than the orders of Krishna. The Guru is the via media, is a pure representative of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he is very dear to Lord Krishna. Anything?
Thank you so much.
So who's sponsoring it to Srimad Bhagavatam today? For the Bhadra Purnima? You can pay later. There you go. One. Mataji. There you go. Only two dozens.
It's a wonderful opportunity actually, because you can take from, obviously Maharaj with the blessings, and Maharaj is happy to even sign and give you it's a great opportunity. Don't miss it. Okay. These are rare chances come in our life.
Okay. Already two sponsors.
Already do. Oh,
Mother
okay.
is sponsoring two altogether.
No.
But actually we have one more other language.
We can give later to them, Maharaj. We can get the blessings now and we can deliver.
So actually don't put up a limit now. Let's go beyond numbers. So anyone would like to take and actually, Maharaj can give the signed copy. We have got some special copies as well with the photo of Sri Radha Landaneshwari. That will be a great.
Sign up or what?
I see.
Look at the book. So let's look at the book sign. Sign. Photo.
Okay.
Can I close it? Stop the music with the